And welcome to another episode.
Start over.
Why?
You got cut off. Just do it again. Ready and
Meow.
Mark.
No.
Welcome to another episode of the A-Team at New Beginnings Farmstead. I am Elisa. We have Ryan, Julie, Jeff, and Egidio. And we were just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Why am I always introduced last?
Okay. Welcome to another
Just doing it in order
episode.
the way we
Well, she's going
Okay, let me-
counterclockwise though. She's not going clockwise. So the poor guy,
Right,
he's always
should be
Okay.
I'm always
All right.
last.
Okay, you ready?
No, don't. I just
No, I'm not going to start over.
no.
Yeah.
It's a rhetorical question.
It's not a
fine.
rhetorical
It was
question.
rhetorical.
You're number one in my book, pal.
Thank you.
Number one of mine.
You can sit
But
next to
Ryan,
me.
you're
Who has the
number
number
one.
I am
microphone?
number
You're
one.
number one.
And I'm number 3.
I'm number 4.
2.
I don't even know.
You're 5.
Five.
You're number
You're
five.
5.
You were
Keep up.
late to the party
There's only 4
with
of
the
us.
whole,
I'm number 5.
serving the country thing.
Hey, we used to
Whatever.
share
Think
microphones.
about that.
We used to share microphones.
Whoa, easy. This is a come on.
Family
now.
friendly.
All right,
Oh,
so
my
welcome back to
goodness.
New
Yes.
Beginnings
Welcome.
Farmstead.
We have
In this
Egidio.
episode.
Thank God Egidio has joined us. I want to
And
introduce
joining
him
me
first.
is going to be Jeff, Julie, Ryan, and Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
Did you almost forget my name?
He did.
You had to
No.
think about
Oh,
it.
he wouldn't
You did.
forget
You
you,
probably-
I
Ryan.
was wondering how I was going to twist the Elisa
Mhm.
thing, and it made me hiccup.
Wow. It was.
Because we're every so often we go to a local radio show, and that host stumbles on it every time.
Yes,
Poor guy.
actually, last time called me Elisa Noble.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. When he went around the table, yeah. 'Cause
And I was like, nope, wrong again.
Yeah. All right, so,
So
all this will
close.
get edited out. It's a blooper reel.
Okay. Are we
All right,
ready?
here we go.
Yeah.
Do me last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
horrible.
waiting for someone.
I just ignored it. I tried to ignore it, but I guess I could when you laughed.
Okay. Welcome.
Did you learn anything in college?
Shoe size. What are we doing here?
All right. Welcome to another episode of the A-Team at New Beginnings Farmstead. I'm Elisa, and we have Egidio, Jeff, Julie, and Ryan with us. And we were just having a conversation about throwing things out
Or not?
or not,
Ever.
saving, repurposing. We have a lot of saving things here.
We save everything.
So I'll do a quick story on it. So my father bought a 1954 Willys Jeep that was in the family for years and years and years. Broke the back suspension on it. He plowed with it. It was what I learned to drive on when I was 12 years old. He told me, learn, and you got to bring in the firewood with it. Had a wooden cab that somebody built, and it was like the perfect farm Jeep. It was rusted, so we had to fix it. And 6-cylinder, all original, 6-volt, nothing improved on it, like old school. Everything intact except for rust and stuff missing. So it sat in the barn up there in Olive for 30 years.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, right. At least 30 years, maybe 40. And so we're clearing out the barn. We bring it down here. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. She's telling me, don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. Don't
Out
get
of
rid of
all
it.
the things you get rid of that. You are going to regret that.
So that's the topic. Are you going to regret getting rid of some of that stuff?
I cannot understand for the life of me from the day I met you.
Yeah.
That's all you talked about is this Jeep. Rebuilding this Jeep. You just out of nowhere on a whim sold the Jeep.
My hopes and dreams.
Yeah. I am shocked that of everything you have
Well,
here.
So I had a Jeep on a trailer. I still have one that we're going to be selling. But as we're coming down the driveway after a walk with the dog, we're bringing the dog down. I tell the story about how I had read this book in high school about this young man finding a Jeep in a barn and rebuilding it, the Jeep. So he rebuilt it, and the story goes awry halfway through. But anyway, the point of the story is he rebuilt this Jeep. So I say, oh, wouldn't it be great if our grandson would help me build this Jeep? And she goes, oh, that would be so good. I said, and we're almost done. The last thing we would do is put in a new ignition switch and put the battery in and start it. But then I said, wait, what we could do with that? Wait, I go, and she goes, and then you die, but he still finishes the Jeep in your memory. I go,
Takes it for
or maybe we could finish together and he could drive me in it. You Remember that?
I do remember it.
She went right to death. So anyway, so that Jeep is no longer part of what we have going on. I don't want to die in it. But anyway, so yeah,
You're
I mean,
gonna
difficult
regret.
as it was, right? So
You're gonna regret it.
I get it. Yeah, listen, my parents, right? They had a full house, and when it was time to empty, you clean without conscience. And
I can't do that. I am
yeah.
so emotionally attached.
we
Oh my
all we
God.
did was take when your parents passed, we took what they had in that house and put it into our containers, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like it's still there.
Yeah,
That
but
is-
we did that because my kids don't have a house yet. My kids are not gone, and I'm not going to get rid of all this furniture. And
But-
then
Right. But
But
you
in-
assume
Right.
that they're
Right.
going to want
no,
it.
actually, no. I had them all go through the house and put their name on what they want.
They say that.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Right, and if they don't later on, then I can get rid of.
So at one
most
point,
of it.
there's like my mother had a big wooden cutting board that she would make the raviolis on, and so at one point we bring everything down here in that container. We try a yard sale, absolutely ridiculous, a
A yard
waste of the
sale
day.
here?
Yeah, well, it had signs. We put it on Craigslist. and
Oh,
We had people show up, but hey, we're asking $10. Oh, you take $1. At
Right.
the end
Yeah.
of the day, just take it. Just take
Yeah.
it. Right? Just get really just take
not
it. Take
doing it
it.
anymore.
And then the rest of it all ended up in the dumpster. We donated all the clothes and stuff like that. Anything we could
We
donate,
donated
did.
a lot.
Yeah, anything we could donate, we did. But at the end of the day, there was this wooden cutting board, and Christina's like, "Oh, I remember when you used to make gnocchi and polenta," and I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, "You want to keep it?" And she goes, "No, I don't really have a place for it." I'm like, "Okay," and cut it in half and put it in the wood stove, and now it's like,
Right.
what am I? We're not making polenta and ravioli and anything, so moving on, right? Like, there was a thing that said, "Oh, Elmo and Louisa Tinti, 25th anniversary silver plate. They hang it on the wall up there." I remember it was on the stairs, right? It had a thing in there. And I go, "Oh, that's nice. Who are you keeping it?" "No." "Okay." Into the dumpster or what? "What do you want to do? Hang it on our wall?" "No." That's it. So at the end of the day, I am decluttering for our kids when it comes time.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You go, little buddy.
But I have to say, I am rowing against the current.
There are things I am not ready to get rid of, and when I am, that's when I'll make a decision on it. But just because you don't want it around doesn't mean I'm ready to get rid of it.
Right,
if
but
you
you're
don't
also
see it, you don't realize you have
Right.
it,
Exactly.
right?
If I had
What?
gone into your
So
father's house first,
Once you throw it away, you're gonna think about it for a day, maybe two.
Nah, I don't. It depends.
you're done
It
with it
depends.
after
I have
that.
a sweatshirt. It was my mother's favorite sweatshirt. My mother's been gone for 20 years.
she found a pair of jeans in the attic.
Can
Did
I
Alice-
finish my sweatshirt story, please? So,
He's thinking about
it's
these
a
jeans.
horrific sweatshirt. I will never wear it, but it was her favorite sweatshirt. She wore it all the time. I can't get rid of it. I cannot get rid of it. And the jeans, by the way, I wear. They were Sweet Oars. So
Sweet Oars, there
local
it is.
friends. They were the
Sweet Oars.
shit. Sweet Oars are the best.
I don't know what that is.
Sweet Oar jeans.
They
You're
make
too
'em, but
young,
the-
Julie.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
I don't think. I think did we have this conversation?
Yes,
I don't
yes.
remember Sweet Oars.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is that a
I
brand?
couldn't afford
It
it.
is
yeah.
a brand.
They were
yeah.
like the Levi's of their time.
And on
yeah.
Wall Street,
What time was this?
this was
Back
in
in
the
the
80s,
80s.
the
Ooh,
early 80s.
big hair.
Yeah.
Big hair.
70s,
There
late
was a
70s.
store,
Were
Teepee
they
Dashery.
stonewashed?
I found in my parents' attic, I have a perfect bag from this store, Teepee Dashery, which used to be uptown. Was the best place. That's where you went for all your Lee jeans and your Sweet Oars. I had every color imaginable. And I have I found an album with the cover from the Sugar Hill Gang.
Nice.
Yeah, that I have.
But we're talking about things that have sentimental value. Things you
These
grew up
are
with. Things
these are my sentimental value
Right,
things.
these-
I won't part with these
things from your parents' house that you grew up with or stuff like that. But what about day-to-day stuff, right? Recycled containers, Cool Whip containers. When I was a kid,
Well, that's what you put all your
everybody
food in.
saved
Yeah.
Cool Whip containers.
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore.
No.
They recycle that, but then they go to the store and they buy Tupperware with these fancy lids and little snap-on things. They go in the microwave, all the stuff.
You eat a lot of Cool Whip?
That I don't really eat Cool Whip ever, but
Apparently enough to save.
you would go into somebody's
stockpile.
garage. When I was a kid, you'd go into somebody's garage and there'd be 100 baby food jars with screws and nails and everything
Yep.
else with the lid screwed to
Oh,
a
yeah.
board. And
That's how you did it.
They
I love glass jars. I can't throw out a glass
recycled
jar.
or repurposed hundreds of baby food jars and coffee cans. How many coffee
Yeah,
cans?
you are guilty of that. You have
I
So
throw
am
them
I.
out now,
containers.
but now I'm throwing them out.
Right.
Now, but you have 300 of them,
Right, and they're all full
Now
of
I have
something.
100. I'm throwing them out.
and we have them all labeled up in the Sugar Shack, all the coffee containers.
But
So-
so go back to your Jeep for a minute.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it would be cheaper to go buy a Jeep.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but that's not the
But
point.
it's
This
not
was
the
his
experience.
father's.
You're right.
And this is what he learned to
but it's
drive
not
on.
like-
But he also built this with his
0%
father.
No.
for 36 months, and you got yourself a brand new Jeep.
Right. And
yeah,
it's the
new stuff
time.
is junk.
Right. It's the time
And
of it.
probably electric.
I enjoyed that.
What year
You
was
fix
this
it.
Jeep?
This was a 54.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Okay.
Of all the things to get rid of, look around.
Okay.
All the things to get rid of.
I'm
What-
just waiting for you to go on a girl trip or something. I'm throwing away the accordions too.
I bet you.
I can't wait. I'm throwing them out.
I bet you the Jeep caused him more aggravation.
Yes, it did.
Sitting there waiting
Absolutely,
to be fixed
100%.
than there.
Calling him.
Listen, there's
Yes.
the one thing you can't make more of is time, right? I don't have the time. There's other things that got to get
But
done.
in a couple of years, you're going to retire and you will have time.
No,
and you'll go,
who
you know
says
what?
that? Why do you
You're
keep
never
saying that?
retiring?
I'm never retiring.
Okay.
I'm staying.
Somewhere.
hmm
Yeah.
Julie, what about you? What do you do?
Get rid of it.
Of late, I have been getting rid of stuff. If it has sentimental value, I take a picture of it.
There you
Good
go.
for you. That's it. Take
No.
a picture.
It's some things, but I have a lot of things to go through, and I do know I'm going to be getting rid of things. But we have kids that are starting their lives and they need things. Why should we're going to throw something out and then they're going to turn around and buy something just like it?
Get rid of it.
So
I will say that your daughter has 80s tasting clothes now because it's making a comeback, I guess.
Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
goes
she
to
will,
the
and she
thrift
also
store,
goes
right?
to. Well, it's
Right.
not cool to go into a store and buy anything new. That's
It's not cool.
It's not. Well, not just cool. It's just not the thing to do. It's everybody thrifts now. That's the thing to do, which is great.
This is great.
Yeah.
And
It
really,
is.
this is a conversation about saving resources.
Mhm.
right. No.
And I love going thrifting. It's so much fun. You just never know what you're going to come
Right.
upon.
You
Like,
never
you
know what
go,
you're going to
"Hey,
find.
See this shirt? $2.
Yeah.
Should go $2.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That's like I
Or
love
do
that when
you
you
buy
great
a
score.
new shirt and keep it for 20 years?
Yeah,
the
there's
new
that.
stuff is not as good. I just went when I drove up to see her in school. We went to a thrift store up there.
For instance, my father had a construction company. He has 3 of every tool. 3 of every tool.
Right.
Her father had a construction company, has all the best tools, had them all. Top notch, heavy duty, commercial grade tools with cords, all heavy duty stainless,
Right.
no emergency brakes, no safety devices on them.
That's what it was. back then.
Trash, right? They're all trash now. Garbage. Throw it out. Throw it out. They're of no use to me. I'm never going to use them. I still have a shelf up there in the shop full of tools.
Yeah, but even that, like I said to you, I don't want to throw out
I
those
understand.
old tools because there are people
that could use them.
that need them.
Yep.
So I've already made arrangements with someone I know, an alderman in Kingston, and she is going to take pictures of everything and see who in her neighborhood, because a lot of people do construction, wants them.
And
What?
the reality is, you shouldn't be really throwing anything out. We should be always repurposing as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah, well, when we cleaned out your father's house, anything that didn't work
Mhm.
in a dumpster. Everything else we're saving to give away.
Right. And that's
Yes,
it.
I-
So
and we,
that's
and we do.
different.
We have a lot, like the garage is full of things that somebody could use.
Right.
And I'm not going to have a yard sale. They're going to get them for free. I'm
To
not going to
me,
sit there for
the
25
time
cents.
involved with running an extension cord, plugging it in, finding electric, running extension cords, thousands and thousands of feet of extension cord we have between both houses. Thousands, not hundreds, thousands of feet of extension cord. My father was fond of cutting off the ground
Yes.
on all of them. Okay, so they're not really safe, but thousands. Your father, hundreds of feet of
Yeah,
extension
well,
cord.
he
in the
loved
house.
going to like yard sales and buying
But-
old tools.
yeah,
That
But
was
so
his
this is
thing.
what's going to happen. You're going to save everything for your kids.
Mhm, Then it's their problem.
You're
Yeah,
they're gonna throw it out.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to pass,
uh-huh.
and they're going to say,
What is
and they're
this?
going to save it all because they don't want to throw it
Mhm.
out.
Maybe
And your grandkids are going to go.
they're gonna have even more junk.
Generations of people are just going to have junk.
Right. And that's
Get rid of it.
right. And that happens.
I can tell you, my kids are not. They're going to go, ah.
I think they are.
Oh.
They are gonna have a lot though.
I'm telling you, I kept what I could keep. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah,
We're done.
I know. I'm emotionally attached
Right
to
there.
too many
Oh,
things.
Keep
When we were
everything
cleaning
right
out the
there
house,
and get rid of everything else.
I'm telling you, and here's the thing, like she would bring stuff down and she'd be weeping, little weepy. She got weepy. I go, what? She goes, I remember when I wore this and my father held it in my hand and we went to the tree. And I'm like, what? Oh, what? Yeah. That's it.
We went to the tree.
I don't know what it was. Something, shadow or
I
whatever
do.
it was.
I remember.
But
I have
hammers. My father would buy new hammers.
See,
like
the
he would buy
hammers mean
socks.
nothing to me.
Correct. But it was funny because my father would look at this hammer and say there was something wrong with it. Right. It was every time he missed the nail, he'd look at it and then he took a torch and he bent it because he figured, I'm going to re-engineer this thing so the handle is better. I don't get carpal tunnel. And now I've got 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets full of hammers and screwdrivers and I give them away. I give them away. I do give them away. Here, take a screwdriver. Here you go. Right. Like that's it. So, but yeah, the tools and, jackhammer. I got a big jackhammer. Patrick's got a nice DeWalt cordless.
Right.
We're done. Right. That's it. That makes that one obsolete at that point.
I actually have some things for you, Julie, from my mother's attic.
Oh.
She was little bitty like you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So we went this past weekend.
I can't.
We went.
They're like in perfect condition.
We went this past weekend
And
to
she
someone's
would
house.
wear it.
She was giving away a beautiful metal cabinet, big 6 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot wide metal cabinet in mint condition for free. Just come get it. So we made arrangements after we met to go there, picked it up, and while she's there, she says, the woman says, "Hey, I'm moving. Anything you want in this house, you can have." Next thing you know, she's
Anything in
bringing
here is free.
glasses and whatever else she
Well,
brought.
there was a really nice bowl that I thought Alyssa would like, and
Okay.
she loved it. And there were a box of drinking glasses there was
But
nothing
if
wrong
you
with them.
didn't get it, would she have missed it?
No, of course
Right.
not.
There you go.
But Julie, if I saw something like this is perfect for Julie, wouldn't you? And it was free. Wouldn't you want me to take it?
It would be repurposed. It would be a gift.
Perfect. Exactly.
I can tell you both. I've never said, "Oh, Ryan's gonna love
No,
this."
not at all.
I never.
This is
Oh,
perfect
Jeff,
for
I
Ryan.
can't wait to give this to Jeff. No.
Really? That's not how it went with the lift that you both bought?
What?
What?
That was a present.
Yeah, those are gifts.
That's different. She got it for me. He didn't get
It's
it
the
for
same
me.
thing. That's
I got it for me.
literally
He got
the
it for
same
him.
thing.
He
It's
bought
the
his
same
own
thing.
lift.
How is it not? How is it the same thing?
It's the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's very
They
different.
bought a
No.
brand
Yeah, it's
new-
different.
They bought
No.
a brand new
No,
lift that
no.
kept people employed.
And it's still in a box for
Right.
both of them.
Yeah.
But somebody was
Mine's
employed
out
that
of the
made
box.
it, so they
Yours is
made
out of the box.
they increased the economy. Where you're repurposing, you're not helping the economy out.
We're saving the resources that don't exist
No.
on the earth.
I'm
how are
helping
you
people
saving
save
something-
money.
How are you saving something that doesn't exist?
Okay, so if you're making a new something every time you need something, you're extracting those resources from the earth to make it.
That somebody's putting together and making money to support their family.
That's great. You could also hire someone to run a thrift store or to run a repair center or a repair cafe or a fix it up place. That's also part of the economy.
No, they don't make. They're not union, so they don't make as much money.
But they will be.
Mhm.
I learned a long time ago about saving things. When I was in college and I lived on my own, once I finally got to my final semester, when I was done, I was done. I didn't need any of that stuff. I packed up my clothes into my bag, my personal stuff, put it in a bag, and everything else that I had there, I sold to another incoming college student, except for my refrigerator. Took that home. My parents actually still have it. But through the years of caretaking houses, different properties, people move, they get rid of things. I don't need to go buy a new washer dryer. They have a washer and dryer in a rental that was barely used on the weekends. Sure, I'll take that. Well, all this stuff has to be cleaned out of the house. And when you're throwing stuff in the dumpster, going, this is kind of too nice to put in the dumpster. And I ended up with a basement full of things. At the beginning of this year, I started going through because I'm completely out of space for anything that I could possibly want or need now.
But you sold everything.
I sold a lot of it.
So
A lot of it.
therefore,
There was a lot of stuff
you
that I
made
threw.
money.
There was a lot of stuff though that I threw away because I said I don't even understand why I saved this. It's broken. It'll cost me more to repair it than it would be to buy a new
That's
one.
it.
all right. But at
Blend
the
it.
time, you thought it had value and you weren't sure,
At
so
the
you
time,
held on to
yes.
it. Okay.
When
There's
I had
nothing
my-
wrong with that, Jeff.
When I had my apartment, after I got out of college, I had an apartment in the village of Saugerties. It was a 2-bedroom over a garage. It was a perfect apartment. And when I decided to give up my apartment, I hadn't built my house yet. So I got a storage unit, 10 by 10. And I filled every square inch of that all the way to the ceiling.
Paying for volume.
And I had that storage unit for almost 2 years until I got my house built. Everything that was in there, because when I had my apartment, I worked 18 to 24 hours, 7 days a week. I was never there. Everything in my apartment was brand new. I couldn't throw it away. It was all still brand new. But then when I moved into my house, out of all of that stuff, there's a set of Pyrex dishes and plates, that I still use, and my couches. Everything else went in the basement. And recently, going through all that stuff, I paid for 2 years, $110 a month to have this storage unit to save things that I didn't need to save. I
But
could
if you
have.
listen to Jeff, you're helping the economy by renting that
I
space.
should have taken
it.
everything from my apartment, put it on the curb for free,
Yeah.
or just sold it for very cheap just to not have to deal with it and move it.
But at least if you're
And
putting
I
it
could
out
have
there
rebought
for free,
everything that was in the storage unit 2 or 3 times
Okay.
and not had to pay the
But
storage unit
we
bill and
don't-
move everything 3 times.
Yeah.
So I understand both sides of, especially when it comes to saving things that have sentimental value. I have looked through totes that I had taken from my parents' house. I look through totes and go, I don't know why I saved this. And then there's other stuff I look at it and go, wow, I forgot that I saved this. This is great. Oh, wow, I have this. When I built my house, I saved every piece of scrap lumber there was. Anybody that knows anything about building houses or on any kind of construction, at the end of the job, everything goes in the dumpster. Everything. It doesn't
Terrible.
matter what it is. And I saved all of that stuff. And since saving all of that stuff, I have used a ton of it for little projects here and there. You need a piece of 2x4 for this, or you need something to shore up a concrete form. Or most recently, I had a bunch of pressure treated cutoffs from when I had done my back deck, 2x10s, 2x12s. And I made raised flower boxes out of them to grow vegetables and stuff in the backyard just to get it out of my way. But I would have had to go buy that lumber or buy something else to plant this stuff. So I had saved it for so long and went, this is perfect. I can use that.
You're being resourceful.
Because I have saved so much stuff over the year. But saving things because they have sentimental value is a lot different than what I was saying before about saving, recycled containers, plastic containers to put food in, or to put in the closet to eventually use. And I have seen where you open someone's, just grab a container out of there and you open it up and they just pour out onto the floor because they save every single one.
So what is the best thing that you found that you saved?
Going through all this stuff?
Mhm.
Oh, I don't
Nothing.
know.
I'm not even talking to you anymore.
I mean, I'm talking, I found books, full books of CDs. And
What are you going to do with those?
Well, yeah.
what am I going to do with
Yeah,
them?
what are you going to do with them?
But
But
what
I
is
do
what
still-
is the best? What have you found and go, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm so glad I saved this.
I don't know. There's been a couple moments
See?
like that.
No.
Okay.
I-
Julie, what about you?
on.
There has been a couple moments like that. And there's also been other moments where I will purge it all. If it's in my way and I don't see anything that's obvious that I need right now, I will purge it all and it goes.
What about you, Julie? Is there anything you found and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I kept this for years and years and years?
Say it. No.
I don't know.
Well, I will tell you what mine is. I have this little, it's like a jewelry box. It's like that you would have bought something like a cheap piece of jewelry in a little box. And my father and I used to play a game that he made up when I was little.
She's starting to get a little
No,
weepy already.
I'm going to get through it. And in his handwriting, he wrote a note and I found it.
Oh,
Yep.
Is it coming?
No.
Starting to happen.
Yes, it is.
No.
I don't know.
See, weepy me.
Not
Do
me.
you have anything like that?
What's that? That makes me weep?
Yeah.
No.
Actually, there's something else I have of yours that was your mother's, and I just like I have that spoon
Okay.
that I will never throw out. And you're like, get rid of that spoon.
Yeah, get rid of the spoon.
This is a
What are you
spoon
doing?
that Egidio's
Yeah,
grandfather
maternal grandfather. Yeah.
whittled, for God's sakes, in Italy, and it was of so much value to their family that they brought it on a boat
She's
to
like-
this country. They carried that bad boy through Ellis
They
Island.
had the babies and the
Yes.
spoon.
I'm like, and this is, I don't know how in the world anyone would ever think it would be okay to get rid of the spoon. This meant like, okay, we are going to leave this house for forever. We're never coming back here. We can only take what we can carry.
it's an artifact.
And someone said, take the spoon.
Yeah.
They took this spoon and I have this spoon. To me, it's like,
No.
But
how this is a piece of your family's
yeah, but the truth
history.
behind it is some of the kids was probably playing with it at the time,
Right.
and they just
Yeah,
brought
but-
it to keep the
But
kid
his
quiet.
mother used it, like, and she's the one that told me that that her father made the spoon, and they use this to stir the sauce.
Had
And
I
they
got to
brought
it
it.
before
They
she did,
carried
I would
it
have thrown
here.
it out without no doubt
Like
in my
this
mind.
spoon went through Ellis Island. Are you kidding me? How could you possibly think about getting rid of the spoon? I have the spoon. I will never throw out that spoon,
Okay,
and
Let
I
me
will
tell you-
smuggle it to
You'll
our
throw him out,
grandchildren.
but you're gonna keep
You're
the
not
spoon.
kidding. Like
Let me
this,
tell you. Yeah,
right,
no.
Julie? What do you think? Should I ever throw out the spoon?
I think you should save it.
Isn't that
It should be in
amazing?
a museum.
It should.
No
It used to be on the
one-
wall in the kitchen, and it will go
listen.
back up.
No one is going to know. No one's going to know.
I know.
Our grandson has never met my grandfather.
Doesn't matter.
and
He will
won't.
know. He
Like,
will know that your mother came on a boat with this spoon.
I think it's important.
Yeah,
Don't you? That is
I
his.
do.
Yeah,
Listen.
that's history.
I get it. And maybe it's because the way I was built. My father kept saying, move forward, keep going forward. Don't worry about the back. Don't worry about And he would, let me tell you, I get it. I understand what she's saying.
I don't.
I wish I had some of the memories. Like they'd say, oh, I'm never getting rid of this. But the truth is, I don't. I'm like, oh, this is the watch my father had. He wore this all the time. Huh. Okay. That
Yeah,
was
he
it.
does. He
That's
does.
it.
And
Yeah, I don't. Think
I don't
have,
get it.
I
And
don't
I
think
just-
I have anything from my parents' house or my parents.
Nothing like that. Nothing.
That's sad.
It's
Why
not
is it
sad.
It is sad.
It's not.
Why is it sad?
It's not.
Because I'm going to save something that's going to go in the closet.
Right. That's it.
That when I go,
Yep.
my kids are going to go. Oh,
So, do you think that museums should not exist?
I didn't say that.
Okay, but
But
Not in
those
my
people
house.
saved historic
right,
artifacts.
this
Yeah, but
spoon is a
History.
historic.
right? The spear of
It becomes-
enchilada,
It
whatever it
becomes-
was. Like,
but everything
La
we're doing now
enchilada.
is
Yeah.
history to the future.
Right. How can you think
This-
about that spoon and say this is not history? That is your family's history.
because when I go for it, I'm not grabbing a wooden spoon. I'm not saying, oh, this
Because
is
you never had to pack up what you could carry
correct
and get on a
Okay.
boat where you
Okay.
were going to be down below in the dark for 9 days
For
eating
all the
boiled
viewers that are-
apples.
For the
Uphill
viewers that are
both
still here,
ways.
just check out the size of her eyes. All right now. You don't have to lunge at Jeff and I
But it's
across
true.
the table.
Everything that we currently have in our lives is history for into the future.
Right.
Some of it,
Some of it.
maybe not the IKEA furniture.
I'm not. Listen,
No, but it
But
is.
this-
What do you
Oh.
think? What about a time capsule? You
What
don't
about
think
it?
you don't
No.
think that's a good idea?
yeah,
either?
it is a good idea.
It's the same thing. She has a
Why-
time capsule.
I do not want her to put a time. Listen, the refrigerator. Let's just take real basic. Do you put leftovers in the fridge?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Let me. You don't. Are there any leftovers?
there are. Mom. I don't put them in. I throw them away.
Okay, you throw away leftovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need
My
leftovers.
my mom was not
He
a
means he
leftover.
composts them.
Sure, that's what I do.
I do not. So my mom was not a leftover person, right? She made food and we ate it. Now we
Yeah, but you
ate-
had to eat.
Well, we ate.
You
everything
had to
she
eat
made,
everything
right? I
on the
get it.
table, which that's another whole episode because I
But
would
if-
never force anybody to
But
eat
if there
anything.
were leftovers,
Next topic is that.
we
Agreed.
ate the leftovers before she prepared a new meal.
Okay.
That's the way it was. So there
I
wasn't.
have
this,
no problem with that. That's how I grew up.
There wasn't an overstock of stuff in the fridge or the freezer. There was just none of that. Like
Mhm.
that didn't occur. But every so often, we got to purge the fridge, we got to purge the freezer, and we got to take that stuff and compost it. See how I did that?
I see. I
Very
watched.
quickly. I caught that quick.
I know.
Thanks, Jeff. You hit me in the leg.
Be
Ish.
careful, be careful.
Because we compost it. And so part of it is, do you throw away a cup of coffee?
No.
Never.
There's never a
throw
cup
it.
of
No,
coffee
you
left
got-
over.
No, there's not enough coffee
But-
left.
No.
What I'm getting at is, you can pick and choose, right?
But a cup of coffee is not history. If I had
You
cut
but
down
we
a
used-
tree,
We used
hold on.
energy.
if I cut
do
down a
it,
tree
to
and
make
I
it.
whittled and I created this cup and then I fired this cup and then I took this with me when I was looking for a better life and carried it with me across the ocean because this was the only cup I had. That yeah, I'd keep that cup.
You keep the spoon, honey bunny.
I am keeping
Okay?
the spoon.
You keep the spoon.
That spoon is
If she
amazing.
doesn't break it
So-
over you tonight.
Yeah, you're not
So,
kidding.
how many time capsules do you think are buried right now that nobody knows about or will ever find?
Well, I know
Hundreds,
of one.
thousands.
I know of one. I know exactly where it is, and my picture's in it. To be opened in 148 years.
Oh, wow.
So when we're doing all this work in this house, right, all the construction that kind of renovated and all the amount of work, right, we've come across at least 2 sets of additions that we add to it. As we're building it, how many times did I say, imagine in 30
Oh my
years,
gosh.
someone's
Mhm.
ripping this all out.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah,
Please
well,
don't.
That's what's happening.
Don't do that.
It's coming. It's
Out-
coming, right?
Out with the old, in with the new.
That's what's happening.
I'm keeping the spoon.
My father bought that house, rebuilt it in Olive, and now Patrick and Allie have to renovate it to their, and that's the way they should. And someday, same thing. Someone will say, I wonder about this wall. Let's get this wall out of here. Open it up, build it bigger, or make it smaller. I don't know. Why is it so big?
And the chimney's going to come through the roof.
That's
Right. The rest of the chimney's going to come down.
Yeah, it looks like there was a chimney here once. Yeah, exactly. So again, I understand and I respect the fact.
I know.
But for me,
I don't.
Yeah,
the
for
whole
me,
sentimental thing, I don't get.
when I see it, I'm like, oh, because you won. It's a fault, I will say. You have a memory that can bring smell triggers you. I've seen you just walk into a room and start crying. And I go, what?
Well,
She goes,
after you've been in there, anybody would cry.
well played. But you went the first time you walked into my mother's house,
Yeah.
right? You were like
Smelled
taken back,
my mother's kitchen.
and you immediately went right. Oh my gosh, that's just like you know,
Mhm.
right? And all I'm like, oh, she's making cutlets. She's making cutlets, right? So, but listen, my father had belts and shoes and sneakers, and
You got the belt.
yeah, I got the belt. I threw that dang belt out. Let me tell you. But the same thing. Like, what am I doing? Right? Come on. That's not just not the jewelry box. Remember, my mother labeled it. I'm like this. Oh, give it away. What am I going to do with that stuff? I'm not wearing it. That's it.
The jewelry?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not wearing the jewelry. That's it.
You don't do that anymore.
No, I don't wear it. When I was a little boy, she gave me pins for communion and confirmation and everything with my name on it, little ring, and done. It's finished. That's it.
I'm not throwing out the
clean
spoon.
without conscience. Just toss it. Give it to someone who can use it. I'm never using it. This house is just going to be one
How
big
fortunate
pile.
you are
Correct.
to not need.
Agreed.
How fortunate
Well,
you are.
100%.
But
Yeah.
that's different. Need and throwing away stuff because it's just going to sit there are two different things, right? Sentimental value stuff and
But he has the luxury
It's true.
of having that attitude because
No
he
doubt.
doesn't need
Correct.
anything.
why
and
doesn't
and
he need
most of
anything?
the world
Why-
does
no, no,
not
no,
have
no.
that luxury
Why doesn't he need anything?
because he has everything.
Why?
I know what you're getting at. He worked for it.
Say it.
But guess
Say
what?
it.
This
Say
again,
it.
another topic.
She's gonna
He's
punch you in the
had
throat.
the luxury. He has had the luxury of having opportunity that not everybody has.
Why does he have opportunity?
Because they came over with the spoon,
That's
Jeff.
right. They brought that spoon here to the land of
They
opportunity.
made polenta with the spoon. That's why.
Because he worked for it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And there's people who work just as hard who don't have the same that he has.
Agree.
So
Listen,
you're
I
lucky.
get it. And I'd like
You're
to believe
blessed.
I liked my right. How many times did we say, or have you heard me say, no, even the language, right? When my father came over, didn't have the tools, didn't have anything, $20 in his pocket, which was a lot of money back then in the 60s, right? So to him, this is what he had. He had to learn how to get through the streets, lurking at words, talking to people who spoke
And
Italian,
they wasted nothing.
and peeled potatoes for a while until he could get on his feet. Okay. And then built a construction company. And I'd like to believe that I am starting at that level and going higher, right? That my kids will start at the level I leave them at and go higher, right? And get to the point where someday, maybe in the Tinty family, we got a doctor, right? I want a doctor, right? But my point is, like, when we get to that, but that's not always the case,
Mhm.
right? When my father said my mother's family had one light bulb.
Mhm. And they had one spoon, apparently.
They chose that spoon, right? I showed you the other day. We were up in
Mhm.
the barn, a sickle, one of those
Yeah.
sickles that my grandfather built here. He made his own sickle. He had the bar. that
You
he
still
had.
have
And
it?
that too.
I just threw it out.
You did not throw that out.
Why would I keep it? I got a
Why
weed
would
whacker.
you not put it on the wall
I
in the
have
sugar
a
shack?
cordless battery powered weed whacker.
Did you
I'm
really
using
throw
now.
that out?
Why would I keep it?
Why would you not put it on the wall in the sugar shack?
The sickle was
I
cordless
still
too,
have
by
it.
the way.
Jeff just advised me I still have it.
I really hope you didn't. I know which one you're talking about.
I told you the story about it.
I've seen it a million times.
Right. 'Cause
And
it's
that's
in the way.
something you should not throw out
No.
Why?
because he made that.
I'm never touching the accordion keys again. I'm selling the accordion. I'm giving it away to a young man or woman who says, I want to learn how to play the accordion. I want to be just like my papa.
I'm not sure I ever heard that. Ever.
I know I didn't say those words.
But yet you still have them.
Well, back then it was a different time. So, but yeah, so I mean, part of it is that I get it, right? The spoons and I just don't, I don't have it. I don't have it in me. And my father was the same way. when we cleaned out his closet, all those wool suits. My father was a snazzy dresser in his time and always prided himself in how he looked. And we just went like this, right into the bag and right to the clothes donation place.
Mhm.
That's it. Done.
Somebody will use them.
Yeah, correct. But not me. Throw the spoon out.
No, never. Never.
You got to take a picture of the spoon and put it on there.
I will. I will definitely take a picture of the spoon. All right.
Recycle, renew, reuse. Right?
Renew, reuse, recycle.
Nope. Keep trying.
Reuse, renew, recycle.
So there's a line in a
We're
song.
going back to the 90s here. So
There's a line in a song.
Read.
Okay, that
Read.
says
there's a new one. That's right.
Deuce.
Yeah, reduce.
Reduce.
there's a line in the song that says, "I took the rearview mirror off of this old Ford, so
Mhm.
I only see what's in front of me.
There you go.
Don't look behind you.
That's it.
Don't worry about the past.
Keep move forward.
That way.
Why you want to go to Italy? I come here to this country, right? For you have the opportunity.
Don't
Why
look
you want to go
behind
to that country?
Don't look back there.
Yeah.
Only up there,
It's true. That's it.
I have great memories.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't get in your way.
They get in the
The
way.
spoon does not get in my way.
They get the memories get in the way
Well,
because
that's true too.
I will say something that will trigger a negative impacted memory, and she will immediately get angry with me. I say like, "Oh, really? Blueberry syrup, huh?" You don't have to. That's fine. You know what happened the last time you said blueberry syrup, right? I go, no, I don't. Let's everybody back up a second here. That's it.
Okay.
I think we should end
I
it.
think we're done here.
Done.
No.
Get rid of it.
Yes, I'm not getting rid of it. So I hope you also
Leave in the comments about whether we should get rid of the spoon or not.
recycle, reduce, reuse.
Reduce first,
Reduce.
as in don't just buy stuff to buy stuff.
Wow.
No, that's not what
Mhm.
reduce means.
Reduce means
Portion control, right? Is that?
Yeah, that don't buy stuff, not just to buy stuff. How does reduce mean that?
Reduce-
means get rid of what you
No,
don't need.
No, it doesn't. Reduce means don't buy a lot of things just for the sake of buying a lot of things. It means reduce your waste that you're creating.
That's not what I get out of reduce.
Okay. Reduce.
Reuse. So as much as possible, you
Cool
use
Whip
it again
containers.
and again.
We do
So
that.
so first of all, you shouldn't. If we use Cool Whip as an example, you don't need to eat Cool Whip every day.
Cool Whip is
so
so
reduce
bad for
your
you.
amount of Cool Whip. If you need to reuse the Cool Whip
I like
container.
Cool Whip.
And
You
if
gotta
you
get
can't
Cool Whip.
reuse the Cool Whip container, you recycle it. That's the hierarchy.
Okay.
Reduce first. So not as many trailers. Reuse the
Oh,
trailers.
whoa,
that you
whoa, whoa!
have,
Hold on a minute. Why
And
we have?
then
How'd we go
Recycle
there?
the trailers
What do
when
you
you're
got
done.
against trailers?
He is recycling.
Reduce.
He is the recycler.
Reduce. Reuse.
Recycle.
Recycle. Got it. And that is the end of today's episode.
See you soon.